take after.
に似ている。
Which side of your family do you think you take after? Of importance.
重要な。
I believe that education is of supreme importance no matter where we live. Section 2.
一語で言い換えられる熟語。に
Along with.
と一緒に。に加えて。
I couldn't understand why we had to submit our notebook along with our test paper. In connection with.
に関連して。
Mr. Yamada has often appeared on TV in connection with Japan's healthcare system. On board.
乗り物に乗って、乗って、乗った。
We began to get on board the plane half an hour before its scheduled takeoff. Prior to.
より前で。
A sign by the poolside says, All users must shower prior to entering the pool. Once in a while. Every once in a while.
時々。
Old friends of mine from elementary school send me emails every once in a while. Above all. Above all else.
とりわけ。特に。
The countries facing this economic problem include the US, Canada, and above all, Japan. All of a sudden.
突然に。不意に。
All of a sudden, the electricity went out, and we were left in the dark. All the same. Just the same.
それでもやはり。
My mother has a lot of faults, but I love her all the same. As a rule. As a general rule.
普通は。概して。
As a rule, they don't allow us to take pictures in here. It is specially permitted today. As well.
何々もまた。
The old lady in her late 90s looked physically very healthy and mentally active as well. Before long.
間もなく。
She went out to buy some office supplies a few minutes ago, so she should be back before long. By degrees.
徐々に。
By degrees, he began to feel at home in the new environment. For good.
永久に。
In most cases, when a language is gone, it is gone for good. For the most part.
大体は。大部分は。
We've used this dishwasher for many years, and for the most part, it's worked very well. From time to time.
時々。
You're studying too hard, so you should try and take it easy from time to time. In advance.
前もって。
If you're planning to visit Kyoto in the fall, you should book your hotel in advance. In all.
全部で。
The protesters succeeded in collecting over 200,000 signatures in all in just a week. In particular.
特に。
Is there anything in particular you'd like me to mention in the recommendation letter? On occasion. On occasions.
時々。
This kind of misunderstanding can happen on occasions, even among good friends. On purpose.
わざと。故意に。
I made that harsh comment on purpose to see how he'd respond to it. Over and over. Over and over again.
何度も繰り返し。
Late last night, curled up in bed, I read a letter from her over and over. Right away.
今すぐ。直ちに。
Mr. Ota, there's a man here at the reception who says he has to see you right away. Section 3.
混同しがちな熟語。1。
agree to.
提案、計画、条件などに同意する。
Those who attended the meeting all agreed to the proposal that a new factory be built. Agree with.
人が、人、考えなどに同意する。気候、食物などが何々に合う。に一致、適合する。
She wanted me to agree with her point of view, but I couldn't. Apply for.
仕事、許可などを申し込む。志願する。
I'm too busy to go to the bank, so I'm planning to apply for internet banking services. Apply to.
1に当てはまる。
What this research has found does not apply to people under 40.
2、人、場所、組織に申し込む。
If you're applying to a university overseas, you'll need some letters of recommendation. Remember doing.
何々したのを覚えている。
Now that you mention it, I do remember seeing her on TV quite often. Remember to do.
忘れずに何々する。
I'm going to take a nap. Remember to wake me up at 4, please. Catch up with. Catch up to.
遅れた状態から何々に追いつく。
I could not catch up with him as he was running too fast. Keep pace with.
に遅れずについていく。
We need to make constant efforts to keep pace with what's happening in the world. Keep up with.
に遅れずについていく。
Since I'm not a math person, I find it kind of hard to keep up with the rest of the class. Leave alone.
をそのままにしておく。に干渉しない。
He's doing his homework, so we'd better leave him alone for some time. Let alone.
は言うまでもなく。
The old man can hardly remember what he had for breakfast this morning, let alone 2 days ago. Correspond to.
に一致する。に相当する。
His explanation about the incident does not correspond to what actually happened. Correspond with.
とやりとりを交わす。と文通する。
We are now corresponding with a few students in Canada in chat rooms on the internet. Hit on. Hit upon.
を思いつく。に出くわす。
Bill hit on a good answer to the question while he was taking a bath. Occur to.
ふと、人の心に浮かぶ。
She'd lived that way all her life, so it never occurred to her to act in any other way. Dawn on.
考えなどが人に分かり始める。思い浮かぶ。
It suddenly dawned on me that these islands could be covered by the constantly rising sea. Make the best of.
不利な状況で何々を最大限に利用する。善処する。
Risk management capability is tested when one can make the best of a bad situation. Make the most of.
を最大限に利用する。
To make the most of the warm weather, we went to the beach. Lay off.
を一時解雇する。
During the last recession, even the big companies were forced to lay off thousands of workers. Lay out.
を並べる。を設計する。
We found a good picnic spot and laid out our food on a piece of cloth on the ground. Be concerned about. Be concerned for.
を心配している。
If you are concerned about your health problem, you should arrange for a medical checkup. Be concerned with. Be concerned in.
に関係している。
This book raises discussions on wide issues concerned with gender equality. Be free from, be free of.
何々がない。
Needless to say, water good to drink must be clean and free of harmful substances. Be free to do.
自由に何々できる。
Now that my uncle is retired from work, he's free to do anything he wants. Be familiar to.
人によく知られている。
Homesickness is probably very familiar to anyone who has lived abroad for some time. Be familiar with.
物事をよく知っている。
Most Americans are familiar with the Gettysburg Address by Abraham Lincoln. Be true of.
に当てはまる。
In those days, we needed tickets to buy clothing, and the same was true of most other necessities. Be true to.
に忠実である。
I think Sakamoto Ryoma was true to his philosophy all his life, and I respect him for that. Be tired from. Be tired with.
で疲れる。
I'm very tired from working all day and want to take a good rest now. Be tired of.
に飽きる。うんざりしている。
I'm really tired of having the same thing for lunch every day. Section 4.
混同しがちな熟語。2、
Be bound for.
何々行きである。
This train is bound for San Francisco. Be bound to do.
きっと何々する。何々する責任がある。
I know this kind of misunderstanding is bound to happen again in the future. Be anxious about.
を心配している。
People in that area are always anxious about the possibility of another big earthquake in the future. Be anxious to do.
何々したがる。
The patient was very anxious to know if the doctor saw any sign of cancer in the X-rays. To come.
将来の。来たるべき。
It is feared that the impact of the economic depression will be felt for many years to come. To go.
あと、残りの。持ち帰り用の。
I've finished reading about 80% of the book, so I still have about 20% to go. Anything but.
全然何々ではない。何々どころではない。
The boy looked anything but happy in his dirty baseball uniform. Nothing but.
ただ、何々だけ。に過ぎない。
It is indeed a shame that we had nothing but rain all the while we were staying here. At first.
最初は。
At first, I thought he was joking, but soon I realized he was dead serious. For the first time.
初めて。
It was almost a decade ago that I saw this movie for the first time with my father. In the way. In the way of.
邪魔になって。の邪魔になって。
We cannot process information in a neutral way when emotions get in the way of truth. On the way. On the way to.
途中で。への途中で。
The sign we saw on the way to the natural hot spring read, Beware of bears. By now.
今はもう。今頃は。
It's a little past 10. The guests should have arrived by now, shouldn't they? For now.
今のところは。当分は。
I think this amount of work will do for now, but I'm not sure about next month. On the contrary.
それどころか。 それに反して、
You don't like reading fiction very much, do you?
On the contrary, I love it. To the contrary.
それと反対の、それと反対に、
Despite evidence to the contrary, we tend to believe in the accuracy of memories. In the air.
未決定で、空中で、空中の、雰囲気などが感じられて、
We couldn't reach a decision, so our plans are still up in the air. On the air.
放送中の、放送中で、
The English programs on the air have been a big help to me in my study of the language. By chance.
偶然に、
Purely by chance, a friend from junior high and I were volunteering at the same organization. By any chance.
もしかして、
Do you know their names by any chance? As a matter of course.
当然のこととして、
More and more young Japanese scientists today speak English as a matter of course. As a matter of fact.
実を言うと、実際は、
Who has won first prize?
Well, as a matter of fact, I have. At a distance.
ある距離を置いて、
The couple sat down on a lawn at a distance from each other. In the distance.
遠方に、遠方で、
The snow-capped Mount Fuji was clearly visible in the distance. Inside out.
裏返して、ひっくり返して、
It was embarrassing that so many people saw me wearing my t-shirt inside out. Upside down.
逆さまに、ひっくり返って、
The river was flowing so rapidly, it turned the canoe upside down. Section 5.
似た意味を持つ熟語。1、
Provide A with B.
A に B を供給する。
This book provides readers with information on how to grow various kinds of vegetables. Supply A with B.
A に B を供給する。
The hotel supplied me with most things I needed until my suitcase arrived. Mistake A for B.
A を B と間違える。
We often mistake a vulture for an eagle when in flight. Take A for B.
A を B だと、誤って、思う、間違える。
Those who saw us in the woods may have taken us for ghosts or something. Look on A as B. Look upon A as B.
A を B とみなす。
Most of us treat pets with huge affection, looking on them as our beloved companions. Think of A as B.
A を B とみなす。
Most high school students think of homework as an unpleasant but unavoidable fact of life. Distinguish A from B.
A を B と区別する。
Today, it is often very difficult to distinguish accurate from inaccurate information. Tell A from B.
A を B と区別する。
The boy is 10, so he should be old enough to tell right from wrong. Participate in.
に参加する。
Last weekend, I participated in a beach cleanup activity as a volunteer. Take part in.
に参加する。
Many young fathers are taking part in child rearing these days. Compensate for.
の埋め合わせをする。を保証する。
My grandfather says nothing can compensate for the time wasted while one is young. Make up.
1を構成する。を作り上げる。
According to this article, the fresh water on Earth makes up only 3% of the water supply.
2. 仲直りをする。
The couple had an argument, but soon made up with each other.
3. の埋め合わせをする。
The cashier would have had to make up the difference with her own money in an earlier time. Care for.
1. の世話をする。
Linda had to take a few days off last week to care for her elderly father.
2. を好む。を望む。
Because Mary doesn't care for bright colors, she always wears dark-colored clothes. Look after.
の世話をする。
We're going to look after our friend's dog while she's on vacation. Show up.
1. 予定のところに現れる。
It was almost half an hour after the appointed time when he finally showed up.
2. 目立つ。を目立たせる。
The difference between the two designs clearly showed up against the bright background. Turn up.
1. 現れる。起こる。
Bob has not come to the party yet, but he will turn up eventually.
2. ガス、音量などを大きくする。を探し出す。
My kid brother asked me to show him how to turn up the volume on his smartphone. Consist in.
にある。
Our happiness consists in good health more than anything else. Lie in.
にある。
The key to baking a good pie lies in making a good crust. Give in.
1. 屈服する。
The Prime Minister stated at the meeting that the nation would never give in to terrorism.
2. を提出する。
I think you should look over what you've written before giving it in next Monday. Give way. Give way to.
屈する。に屈する。道を譲る。に道を譲る。
Finally, the girl gave way to temptation and ate a slice of cake.